Never heard anything serious go on here.
Yeah.
I feel very safe. I've never felt unsafe one moment.
I loved it because our children could run free, unattended, and be safe on the streets to experience and interface with a foreign culture. I feel safe walking around town, and my children felt safe walking around town.
We're right in the middle of the country. This is almost a geographic center, and we don't feel afraid here.
We feel very safe out here. There haven't been any incidents out here.
San Miguel continues to be an extremely safe place to live. We don't have any issues. We don't have any bars on our windows or doors, and we've lived here now 2.5 years.
You know,
If I didn't feel safe, I wouldn't live where I'm living. To me, it's perfectly safe here. You can wander around I haven't been to any part of San Miguel where I haven't felt safe at any time, day or night, on my own.
Yeah, we feel very safe.
No, no concern about safety here whatsoever.
I feel safer here than I do, say, in Washington, D.C.
For the size of the populace and the number of people here, your chances of having even an auto accident are much less than they would be in the States. I have found that the police and the security and everything else are getting better all the time, and I never worried about them at the first.
I've seen very little violence in San Miguel de Allende. Things do happen, and they happen everywhere. I speak highly well of Mexico, and the best thing about Mexico are the Mexican people. And on the most part, you have very peace-loving, helpful people. So rest your concerns as best as possible, and on my word about those things if you're thinking about them. But you heard it from me.
It's relatively safe, but it's like any other place that you go to visit. You just have to be careful. Just be cautious and careful, but no more than you would if you went, to a city in the United States.
We just have to be smart about it.
Yeah, same is true in Rome or Paris or
New York.
I feel safe, but I also try to use my head just like I do in the United States or in Europe.
I'm not anxious about my safety. I take precautions. I lock my gate, I lock my doors.
I tend to be a person who's not afraid. I walk everywhere. I'm really not stupid either. I don't carry a lot of money with me. I'm not much of a night person, so I'm not coming home, and I'm not coming out of a bar at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm not afraid of any of that, and I certainly am aware that there is pickpocketing, and when I go out in a crowd, I do what the Mexican women do. I tuck a little money in my bra.
It's a lawful town. It's a town in control. It's not a town out of control. And like anywhere, you just have to watch your P's and Q's and don't be on a dark street at night and, taking taxis and things like that. As far as physical violence, is very little. As far as being attacked, it's unlikely. But there's always a place you always have to be cognizant, aware, and always prepared. I don't care if you're in the Vatican, I don't care if you're in Paris or New York City or San Miguel de Allende.
Just like anywhere, a little bit of common sense. You don't drive into the middle of the Bronx and expect that, everything's going to be great. And you don't do the same thing here. I haven't found those places, but I'm sure they exist.
Do have a lot of cash with you because we pay for everything with cash. And it's a big wad. $100 is a huge wad here. You don't flash it. You don't take it out on the street.
It's good to be careful, and
Yeah.
but being fearful is a whole different thing.
I did some research, and the statistics and the information about the crime rate are widely available. Anybody can access reliable sources online about crime statistics, and I just believe my reliable sources. I also knew people down here and knew of people down here and had heard that people had come down here, and I trusted that the old people who retire here, they gotta know something.
Because unless you're hanging out in a border town or a well-known druggy neighbourhood, at 2 a.m. You're safe.
Most of the crime problems have been close to the border.
This is a haven of security. Don't take to heart all the negative publicity that has been going on in the United States. I hope they give us a chance.
Don't believe everything you read. It's shocking. I think there must be a government campaign in the States against Mexico.
Absolutely disregard the warning of people in your current vicinity whose opinion will be based on things that they've heard, and come and visit. Not to think of it as sort of a dangerous third world kind of place, because it ain't. It so is not.
I can truthfully say that I and I believe we have never felt anything other than safe and secure where we are. What I would say to people is to leave your prejudice at the border.
We both have some concerns whenever we head to the border. And if I was to say anything to someone that was going to drive down, it would be make sure you cross the border in daylight. And that's all. All the problems are located right at the border. And the other thing is, don't break any laws.
Most of the problems that you hear about, read about, are along the border.
Mostly takes place in those border towns, are more lawless than established communities like San Miguel de Allende.
Also, that it's basically a border, or I understand that it's basically a border problem and somewhat south of the border here. But I had been told by people who know San Miguel pretty well that for various reasons, it's not a problem in San Miguel.
Well, all my friends and family thought we were crazy. They all thought that Mexico was dangerous, that the streets were, blood on the streets and kidnappings and all kinds of terrible things. And all of the stereotypes about Mexico were alive and well in my community. And, they thought we were crazy. And so when we came down here, we were pleasantly just surprised at how family friendly and how family safe it is to be down here. And it was really a truly transformative experience to be here and feel so nurtured by the Mexican people and by the expat community and by the arts and the weather and all of those things. And so anybody who's come to visit me have